Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on. What is, for you, what is the most spiritual experience you've had while either listening or performing? Either being a part of a team, performing, or listening to music. Tell me like a spiritual encounter you had in a nutshell. Go ahead, Michael.
Undoubtedly. We were in Alexandria, Louisiana. It was when I was with Jason Upton. And we went into this college auditorium, and I basically just put the recorder on and let it go. And we were doing sound check, and I looked up to the ceiling, and I started seeing this fog coming through, and I figured it was just like the condenser in the air conditioner in the coil or something. This fog starts coming in the room, and I started feeling a whole lot of God all of a sudden. I really didn't put two and two together. I'm a little slow on the uptake sometime, and so I asked the janitor, I said, hey, what's that stuff coming out of the ceiling up there? And he looked up there and he said, I don't know, there's no pipes up there. And so this holy fear kind of came over me, and meanwhile there's all these youth guys in there, and they're real stoic, and they got their arms crossed and everything's kind of like, let's see what you got, young man. You know, one of those things. So we finished, and we just started playing, and it got to the point where it got so thick in there that I jumped off stage and I went and jumped under the soundboard. I mean, I felt so much God. I was like, oh my God, at any minute something's just going to bust through. And all of a sudden this little kid comes under the soundboard and he goes, there's a 12-foot angel standing behind Jason Upton. And you know what? I know I wasn't singing because I wasn't up there. William wasn't singing. Jason's singing, but there's 2- and 3-part harmonies going on in the room. And I'm going, what in the world? And I'm looking on the hard drive recorder and it's recording it. And I'm thinking, if this is on here when I play this back, I'm going to come out of my skin. So all of a sudden, all this stuff happens. All these guys that were like, yeah, they're, Daddy, oh God, you know. And Jason, I look at Jason, and he's up on stage, and his eyes are rolled back in his head, and he's teetering on his piano bench. I thought, oh my God, he's drunk. Oh, I thought that was something that he did all the time. And he starts saying, da, da, I thought he's completely lost it. So all this stuff's going on, right? And it's happening in real time, so you're not even catching all of what's happening. And then after the meeting, I went up to, because we were rooming together, I went up to get Jason off the stage. He was completely plastered. But he'd never been drunk in the spirit before, so he says, I'm feeling all tingly. My arms and, Michael, my legs and... Make a long story short, he fell asleep in the dorm exactly like a drunk guy would. He just lay down on the bed with all his clothes on in his bag, and he was gone. So the next morning, I'm thinking, was that real? I went back to Nashville, and I'm in there with this engineer friend. I was producing the project, and sitting on there, we're going through all the material. We get to the song Fly, and all of a sudden, I said, well, any minute now, if that was really an angel, and all of a sudden, there's this perfect voice that comes flying. I went, whoa! And I said, we got to find that. And the engineer goes, oh, that's just a psychoacoustic anomaly. That's probably a tom-tom ring or something. So I thought, oh yeah, well let's find it then. So we start going through, we start soloing out each channel, not a tom-tom, not a keyboard, blah, blah, blah. We get through everything except Jason's vocal. Now remember, the kid said there's a 12-foot angel behind Jason. So we solo Jason's vocal track, and there's 2 waveforms on there, one little one and one big one, and you can see it, and not only that, but you can hear it, and the guy goes, well, that sounds like something standing like 12 foot behind Jason. I said, I told you it was an angel. And so literally on that, when that part hits, it doesn't matter. I mean, you get hammered every time. So here's where it got really crazy. So all of a sudden we start getting emails from Heidi Baker's group up there, unbeknownst to us, when Jason's going, it's Malawi for come to the table. So we think he's just this drunken guy in a stupor, and he's actually, so they play it when the orphans are out to play, to call him to lunch, they play, and all the little kids come running in.